Hello and welcome to another Company of Heroes 3 game. My name is Fancy Josh, and today we've got a game between Markov666. His opponent today is Rory. I have cast Markov666 before. He is top 30 as British-ish. I don't know. I am not familiar with Rory. But I'm assuming that being matched up against Markov, he's going to be relatively highly rated as well. The map today is Tunis. I really like this map. Kind of follows the four-leaf clover design, where you've got some pretty substantial cutoffs that divide each quadrant away from each other. The cutoffs are relatively difficult to take away from your opponent. In particular, these two here are just so deep in your enemy's territory that it's tough to make that work. But these two on the road are much more accessible, and I suspect we'll see players taking those away from each other. Our German player is opening with a recon vehicle into a grenadier squad, trying to lock down the middle a little bit, whereas our British player is opening two Royal Engineers into a infantry section. Keep wanting to call this infantry section a Tommy squad. That's what it was. That's what they called themselves in Company of Heroes 2. I don't remember what they were called in Company of Heroes 2, but I always think of them as a Tommy squad. So, German player making use of this recon vehicle, just capturing away a bunch of territory. He's going to give up this side of the map. That's totally fine. Our British player is extremely committed to this side of the map. I think he's actually hunting this recon vehicle. Maybe? Yeah, I don't know. But recon vehicle's going to have to get out of there. German player capturing the bottom side. Recon vehicle coming to help. German players added on heavy machine gun. And another grenadier squad. British player just added on another infantry section. Totally standard so far. So our British player has gone for the heavy armor battle group. This, refreshing my memory. Yeah, so I don't actually see this group taken very often. So I'm gonna hold off judgment on what he wants to do there, and I'll talk about it as he unlocks it. German player's gone for the breakthrough battle group, and he's already picked up these assault grenadiers, which I believe lets him upgrade his grenadier squads to have the assault package. So 3 of those MP40s, making them extremely dangerous at close range. See if he wants to use that upgrade at all. German player did just try to snatch away this fuel point from his opponent via the recon vehicle. Didn't quite get it. That infantry section interrupted that from happening. And it looks like this is going to be a fairly timid game to start. I think we're in for a big fight here because our German player has locked down this middle section. And the British kind of has them surrounded, so but it looks like the British is blobbing up a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. You know, a lot of players starting out blob up like this into sort of a death ball, right? Makes them extremely efficient. I think these grenadiers gotta go. So there's nothing wrong with blobbing up. If you find yourself blobbing up in your games, try to... So even if you're blobbing, that's fine. Just make sure that you're microing the squads individually once you get in combat. So, for example, put them into different pieces of cover so they're spread out and not vulnerable to AoE attacks like mortars or a Sturmpanzer shot or something like that. Put them in cover. Make sure they're... the cover is between them and the bullets so that it's actually providing cover. Yeah, so nothing wrong with blobbing up. Just micro while you're blobbing up. And the reason a lot of players do this, myself included, by the way, is it's easy to... What am I trying to say? It is easy to let your squads kind of get stuck together a little bit when they're going back to base and healing all at the same time. And it's tempting to send them all to one area. That way you can focus all your attention on them in one spot. There's less risk of losing units. So it's that trade-off between capturing territory by being spread out and not losing units, right? So, but our British player clearly has enough map awareness to be dividing up his forces like this. So I don't mind. Wouldn't mind seeing him spread out a little more. What she's doing now.
We've been spotted.
German player picking up this rapid production from his command group. And he added on a scout car, of course, and now he's adding on a, I believe that's the AA. Yeah, the flak gun team. I have mixed feelings about this emplacement. I think it feels like a heavy machine gun to me, with the only real added benefit of being able to target light vehicles. That's not exactly true. It doesn't suppress as well, and it does more damage to infantry in general. So it's more lethal, less crowd control, and decent against vehicles. But it has an it pilots like a like an AT gun. Makes it kind of awkward to move it into the right spot, but if you get it in the right spot, it's going to do some serious work. First player capturing away this bottom side. German player trying to take away that fuel point continuously. Scout car trying to push away this infantry section. Nice repositioning, getting the cover between them and the bad guys. And that flak gun team gonna push those away. First player's added on an AT gun to deal with the scout car. Scout car picking up a promotion from fighting so much. Might walk right into this AT gun, which has moved away. Yeah, even game so far. Our German has done a much better job controlling the victory points, and that's leading to a victory point deficit for our British player. Plenty of room to breathe, though. Now, I'm wondering where both players want to go from here. Our German player definitely has a fuel income, and he's adding on support elements right now, so I suspect we're going to see him add on a Stug. He might add on a flak half-track instead. In fact, I think the flak would be better, although he doesn't have a lot of AT, and our British player is adding on a armored car here. AT plugging away at this recon vehicle. That's a dead recon vehicle, isn't it? Not quite. Having to move off as the infantry push in. The machine gun in this big old building being a nuisance. Flak emplacement, pushing away those units here. Grenadiers fighting from heavy cover. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, our German is losing some territory. So, good fight for our British player, I'd say, overall, right? Anytime you're fighting and not losing dramatically, it's good for you. So that right there is the power of the black gun team. What did we just lose? Oh, sector. Sorry, I thought we lost a unit. But that was the power of the flak gun team there, doing some damage to that armored car. And I was right. Our German player is adding on the flak half-track here. That makes a whole lot of sense based on the fact that his opponent has 1.5 million. Infantry squads. At the same time, he doesn't have a super great way to deal with this armored car. I mean, both his flak panzer and his AA gun team can deal with They can both deal with armored cars, but they're not explicitly for that purpose. That was a really nice flank by our British player there. He's going to pick up this anti-aircraft gun, and he might be able to steal it. I think that would be really good for him. Deny that to his opponent. Armored car pushing away the scout car. So I love this dynamic between scout cars and armored cars because armored cars beat scout cars unless the scout car has the AT upgrade. So we'll see if that's what our German wants to end up doing. Our German just lost something. I didn't see what unit it was. Maybe he didn't lose anything. Maybe it was only the AA gun. Adding on a Jaeger squad now, I think that's a good decision. You can upgrade those with Panzerschrecks. That'll help him further deal with that scout car. Oh, that's very cool. Our British player just used his retire ability to push the... Wait. Never mind. I am making stuff up. AT gun set up in the middle. AA emplacement doing a great job holding down that location. Flak Panzer. Trying to be annoying. Trying to be where it's useful. Attacking this building now. Shredding this infantry, and they got to get out of there. Armored car on the bot side. You know, it's amazing to me this recon vehicle's still alive. Good on our German player keeping that alive. Allowing him to continue to be annoying and capture territory in far-off places. Grenadiers being annoying, picking up the cutoff point. Doesn't really matter to our British player right now because he's not connected to anything. British player picking up the middle point here. Kind of a standoff going on in the middle here. Nice smoke grenade from the scout car. Excuse me, from the armored car. Allowing that infantry section to safely finish the capture. German player continuing to finish his capture on the bottom side. German player going hard with these flak ones. This is very aggressive, very dangerous, but it might work out for him. There's no infantry support here. So he's going to take out the AA emplacement and this AT gun. Now, I'd like to see him destroy both of those things, denying them to his opponent. But it looks like he's not sure where his opponent's units are, so he's bailing out of there. Oh, he is sure where his opponent's units are. He's going to clear them out here. Now he's got an AT gun to deal with. This armored car, I don't know if it can pick up this flak panzer. Gonna try, though. Not quite gonna get him there. Does he have anything else coming in? He does, but they're kind of far away. Scout car being annoying over here. Armored car going in to help. Big fight happening here. Anti-tank gun. Infantry set up, but blocked out by this heavy machine gun. Good coverage there. Armored car picking up the scout car. That's really important to our British player. British player does have another AT gun. Nice grenade from these grenadiers. Flak Panzer pushing in. AT gun set up on this Flak Panzer, maybe. It's got a nice little arc. I wouldn't mind seeing this AT gun smash this building. Our German player did manage to capture away the aircraft gun. Doing lots of damage with it. Flak Panzer sitting at maximum range, picking off these engineers. Armored car helping out. Armored car needing to back up because it is susceptible to this aircraft gun. AT gun getting a shot in on the Flak Panzer there. Wow, what a fight. Jaeger duking it out with an infantry squad down here. He has upgraded those to have Panzerschrecks. German player adding on a Marder 3 tank. I think that's a fine choice. This is a relatively common mid-game build for the Warmachek faction, where you get all your anti-infantry from these Ostwinds and all your AT from these Martyrs, and I think its weakness is tank spam, medium tank spam, like Crusaders. Also, you know, Also susceptible to AT guns, of course, and that is what our British player's working with right now, because our British player doesn't have a ton of fuel. He has added on the platoon command post, but he doesn't have access to his medium tanks yet. Nice, I like that decision. AT guns destroying that building, deny its usage to his opponent. Recon vehicle's still alive here. And I think he's not using the reconnaissance mode on it. He's gonna need to get out of there, it's gonna be dead. Martyr 3 backing up. Recon barely making it out of there. Ostwind's pushing away this infantry section down here. And yeah, nicely done by our German player. He's really controlling the map well. Got a ton of resources. That might be a dead Ostwind though. Yeah, I think it is. Nice. Yeah, that was an unfortunate mistake by our German player. Maybe he didn't realize those AT guns were there. I mean, he did not have vision of that area, so... But it was pretty dangerous moving his tank through the center there. German player destroying this AA gun. I like that. Deny it to your opponent if you're not going to use it. Armored car still alive. Doing work here. So... Oh, Martyr's dead here, isn't it? Oh, just out of range. Good save on the Martyr there, that was close. Nice combined arms push here. AT guns in, going to remove the anti-tank. Then the armored car going in to clear the way for the infantry. And then finally the infantry following up to capture the point. It was a nice little nicely executed push by our British player. There are a significant amount of infantry units here for our German player, though. Ostwind has vision. Totally shredding those engineers. Looks like he was actually attacking ground through the smoke there, so I love that play, right? His vision is blocked. Why not barrage? British player is capturing the top side. I think that's a good idea, sending just 1 or 2 squads over there. That might be a dead armored car. Nope, just barely going to get out of there. Black Panzer barraging with his phosphorus rounds here on this building, shredding that unit inside. These grenadiers got to go. Armored car pushing in to shove away this Ostwind. I occasionally call it an Ostwind because there was a unit very similar to this in Company of Heroes 1 called the Ostwind. And yeah, that might be a dead Flak Panzer though. Yeah, look, taking his eye off the ball for just a second there. Yeah, so our German player is not hurting for fuel, but he is hurting for manpower. And in a situation like this, I like teching up. Because you get more value out of the higher tier units, in my opinion. And right now he's just rocking these light tanks, and that is a dead Marauder, isn't it? He doesn't have vision. Yep, didn't quite get him. Nice try on the pickup there. Now, that's a level 3 armored car. What does it get? Weapon accuracy, higher mobility, health, vision. I mean, that's really good. I love that. I love what I think they did a really good job with the veterancies in this particular game. In previous iterations of this game, they've had trouble making the veterancy feel correct. And what I mean by that is, like, it was just straight up more damage, more health, like nothing else. You know, maybe increased accuracy. And in this game mode, I feel like they've spiced it up a little bit. I like this extra health, harder to hit, rate of fire. I mean, at least it's dynamic. And the other cool thing I like is for vehicles, you know, for units that have a specific role, like an armored car or a scout car, they give them something that really helps with that. So, for example, they boost this thing's detection range and range at max level. So now it's sitting way, way back, providing vision and dealing damage at range. And I think, you know, that allows the scout car to be usable in the mid-game without, you know, getting totally shredded, right? Scout car doing some serious work here. Panzerjägers hitting him bad. And man, our German has done a really, really good job controlling the victory points this game. I've been really focused on the center of the map here because it's just been a huge brawl all game long. But meanwhile, in the flanks, our German's been locking it down. British players capturing 1 point back. Looks like he's going to try and take this bottom point, which I think is a good decision because that middle area is pretty locked down. German player adding on the... Is that a commander? Yeah. Command Panzer. This thing provides benefits to everybody around it. Fire rate of nearby vehicles. And is effective against both types of units, armored and infantry, but it has to switch weapon types. MG42 going down to this infantry squad. Looks like he is going to manage to snake this point away. Big push coming in. He's going to have to leave it alone. Looks like our British player is going to capture this bottom point. Jaeger coming in to try and deal with it. German capturing the center again. Alright, and now we got a Black Prince heavy tank from our British player. I have not seen this tank in a high-level game yet. So we'll see how it does. I know it's got a ton of health. It's got decent front armor. Oh, and side armor too. What I don't know is how good its armor penetration is, or its anti-infantry for that matter. It looks like, I mean, based on this description, it looks like it's going to do just fine against infantry. He's, I think he's using the smoke ability. No, he's not. Big fight in the middle here. Look how much health that thing is, as it's tanking all sorts of hits from various sources, and it's just shaking it all off. Machine gun being targeted now. Armored car doing serious work for our British player here. Not bouncing any shells is our Churchill, but it doesn't matter. It's just shaking everything off. He does need to be really careful here. There's a second martyr. AT guns moving in, pushing back those tanks. Second martyr trying his luck here. Might get absolutely ranched by these AT guns. Both players backing up, using that smoke ability on the Churchill to escape. British player currently controls 2 of the victory points, which is just great for him. Down to 30 points, so he basically can't afford to bleed anymore. And unfortunately for him, you know, he really needs some more resources, it feels like. I mean, I think our British player has basically got the comp he's going to have for the rest of the game. He's probably going to try to add on more tanks, but right now it's all about holding this point, so... you know, he doesn't have a lot of freedom to try and move around the map, right? Capture territory. I love that armored car getting involved on that side of the map. That's a dead Churchill. Probably. He doesn't have another smoke ability. Oh, bounce. How about another one? Nice bounces. AT guns coming in clutch. Can you save it? A miss by the martyr. Oh, man. Wow. What a turnaround. What a turnaround for Markov there. Man, I'm a little bit in shock because I did not expect that game to end there. Roney he lost all 3 of his tanks in about 2 seconds. He definitely was behind in terms of, I mean, you can see it here in this graph. He's behind on units, like, overall. But he had really good map control, and Yeah, I mean, he had really good map control, and he had a huge victory point lead. I mean, he literally needed 30 victory points off his opponent. And I think if he played a little bit scrappy, he was going to be able to make that happen. But he just got frustrated by losing all his tanks. And, you know, we all been there, right? Yeah, and, you know, thinking back on the composition, I think Roney fell into the trap of staying on medium tanks for too long, right? I think he needed to tech up a little further, add on something a little beefier, but that's okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game as much as I did, and I will see you in the next video.